welcome back to Driven 276. I'm just going to do a quick install of the WolfBox G900 Pro or Tripro. I may not do the full install today. I'm just going to get the mirror up and see what it looks like. Actually, probably not do the full hardwire kit. I'll probably do a secondary video on that. There is a big snow that's supposed to be coming this weekend, or potentially. I don't know if it'll actually hit or not. Maybe more ice than anything. But I did want to actually try to have this camera up, or at least some of the camera up, just to see if it recorded good footage. And maybe to have some additional footage for you all with the next video. So let's get started. I'll show you kind of the parts and pieces that it does come with first. So of course you got the box itself that the rear view mirror, the dash cam comes in. You have some accessories, some hardware I should say. I think that this is the cable for one of the rear view cameras or one of the cameras, or the hardwire kit itself. And just some more accessories. See, it's a pretty complete kit. But again, this is the G900 Tripro. It's supposed to have 3 cameras. It's going to have a front bumper camera, rear, and also of course your inside front camera. It does have 4K footage for the inside front camera, and I think 1080p for the other 2 cameras if I'm not mistaken. So let's go ahead and get this unboxed, see what's inside, and at least get this the rear view mirror mounted up, and just kind of the 12-volt adapter hooked in and mounted, just to see again kind of what it looks like and give it a test. And I do apologize, it actually says right here, let me zoom in maybe. The front is actually 4K, the rear is 2.5K, and the bumper is 1080p. So let's get it unboxed and go from there. So when you first unbox it, it's packaged very nicely. You have this cover right here, and then right on top you actually have the rear view mirror itself. So apparently it does not have to be on to use it as a rear view mirror. As you can see, you can actually see pretty well, and it's still got the plastic on it. We'll leave it on during the install. Let's take that out right quick. It's supposed to be 12 inches, a 12-inch screen. It's rather large. So I got the full kit as I mentioned. This comes with a mount for the rear. I will not be using that because it will get in the way of the tailgate if I ever use that, or the hitch. So I'll show you how we'll be mounting it. Comes with a user manual. The 1080p right here, gosh, there's some extra long cable. I do apologize for moving around so much. The 1080p extra bumper camera cable. And this is the power supply cord that we'll be using today. It's just the 12-volt cable that we'll be using to plug it in with. And it comes with a 1080p extra bumper camera. I guess this might be for the bumper, one of the cameras. And this is the rear camera. So let's go ahead and get the actual rear view mirror mounted up on the mirror, and then we'll get the power cable installed and just see if we can get any more of the cameras installed before we have to stop for the day. So since this is not going to be my permanent solution, I'm just going to actually use the rubber straps that it comes with. As you can see here, it actually holds on pretty good. And luckily, I don't think that the rear view mirror on the Colorado is actually glued on. I think it's actually mounted on with a screw, so it shouldn't have any problems with it pulling down. It seems very sturdy on there. It won't bounce around. So, as I mentioned, I'm going to use a 12-volt adapter, since this is not going to be the permanent fix, just to kind of test it out, just to kind of get it up before the weekend. It's, like I said, it's cold out right now. I do want to do a more permanent solution once, especially the spring and summer rolls around. But right now, again, it's 30 degrees, 40 degrees outside, and it's just really cold to actually start doing a lot of wiring and get too deep into that. So this is just going to work temporarily, so I don't want to have to I'm just going to do it pretty quickly and make sure the wires are kind of clean, kind of not exposed. But just the route, this more or less, and get it to the glove box the cleanest way possible. I actually forgot before I actually put that up there that I actually did buy a circular polarizer for the front camera. So let me put you down right here and I'll show you right quick what that looks like, or maybe I can do it one-handed. Give me a second. I'll open the box and then show you. Maybe. I apologize for tilting you. So it comes with this nice cloth, this cleaning cloth, I guess, for the polarizer. Some instructions, I guess, of how to put it on. And the polarizer itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this back on and figure out how to put it on right quick, or take it back off. It looks like it just like a camera lens, it kind of just, you know, screws on. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the mirror back off and put the circular polarizer back on. And I want to show you, I actually did go ahead and get that wired up with 12 volt. This is for the Colorado, of course. But I ran the wire right here, ran it along the top here, ran it down, you can't see the wire. Sorry, didn't run it down that way, I ran it across here. I ran it behind here. See if I can zoom in or focus. I don't know if I can, or if it's gonna let me. There we go. And I ran it here. And I ran down here. So right when I came here. And then I ran under here. So you really can't see it except for right when you get right there. And right there. But again, this is not a permanent solution. This is just something temporary. I do plan on doing the hardwire kit once it gets warmer out. So let's go ahead and get the circular polarizer in. Let's go ahead and pull this off right here. So you can definitely see, if you look, you can see it. You can use it without it being turned on. So I thought before we stop for the day, what I'd try to do is actually just hook up the GPS, which it did come with. So I'm gonna actually run it along here, kind of similar to what I did the other side, is run it down here, and I'm actually gonna run it into the glove box. Glove box usually holds these pretty well, and you can actually usually get a pretty good signal in the glove box, and it can stay hidden. So let me do that, and I'll let you know if that works. I won't get one of the front or rear camera installed today. All right, so what I've done is I took the wire from the mirror, ran it around the edge up there, over to here. Let me kind of get focused in. I took it down to here, and I took it over and I put it's got 3M tape on the back, and I put it right here. So let's hope that it will close. I got it back locked into place and perfect. So you wouldn't even know it's there. So I will let you know if the signal works for the GPS unit. Hopefully it does. I think it will. I think it'll, you know, go through the metal and whatnot, and at least give us enough signal for that, for what we're using it for. We don't have to have it be 100% accurate, as long as it just works. So we'll finish up the rest. I'll get the rest finished up in the next couple of days and just see how it works, and we'll go from there. So it's a couple days later. I got the rear view mirror put up, and it actually is working good so far, the front camera anyways. So now let's move on to actually fixing the GPS. I put the GPS transmitter inside the glove box. It's not getting signal there, so I'm gonna actually have to move it up on the dash. I'm gonna try to make it look as clean as possible. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move that up on the dash, try to clean up the wires, make it look okay. And then we're gonna move to the rear view camera, and I'll show you the placement where I'm gonna put that. It does appear that we're successful. I was able to move it up here. Now, is it the cleanest? Not really the place I'd really want to put it, but you can tell it's not really out of the way. It's out of the way, honestly. So, I mean, it's up here on the dash. It does have to be exposed to the sky. It has to be faced up from what I read, and it actually says up on it if I'd actually read that part. It's just, you know, a lot of these GPS transmitters or transponders, they're not very sensitive like you would see in your cell phone. So they do require to actually be exposed. So if you can find a better placement, go for it. You have a little decent amount of cable, but that's where I'm going to end up putting it. And I got the wire. I'll try to get in on it. I got it kind of tucked in here. Now, unless you really remove the dash, you really probably couldn't get it all tucked away. I'm not going to go through all that trouble with that, but I was able to tuck it in, of course, under this, and just kind of slowly integrated it up over this, and it is black, so it's going to blend in pretty good. So it's rather clean. So let's go back to the rear, try to get the rear camera installed next, and run the cord for it. So for the back, I'm actually gonna remove the third brake light and try to go in this route and actually mount it up here. I can't guarantee that it's gonna work because I don't know if I'll be able to route the wires through here or not. But this is where we're gonna start. If it does not work, then I'll actually mount it on the rear or the back bumper back near the hitch. My idea is though, if I'm actually trailering the Mustang, I'll actually be able to have a better view of the car while I'm trailering something, and honestly just have a better view from up here versus back on the rear bumper that low down. So let's go ahead and try to remove this. It is a T15, as if you remember whenever I installed the LED lights back here. We'll get that removed and try to fish the wire through here and actually up to the rear view mirror. So I was able to get it through. Got it through here, and now it's actually in the cab of the vehicle underneath the headliner. I have not routed it yet, but first what you'll want to do is you want to get the full length of the wire into the cab, and then you want to mount your camera first, so you make sure you have enough wire, of course. And I'm going to mount it. I'm going to mount the camera about right in that area. I'm going to try to get it, you know, as center as possible. But there's actually a wire here that you can wire to your reverse lights. Of course, the Colorado has a camera that whenever you put it in reverse, let me turn the camera around. Hold on a second. So the Colorado actually already has a camera. So when you put it in reverse, it actually will switch over to the reverse camera. So I really see no purpose in wiring that up. It's just some extra wiring. At some point, I could actually, you know, extend this wire and go to actually the fuse box in the front of the vehicle, because there's actually a fuse that's for the trailer reverse lights. I think I could tap into that fuse and it would work just the same. But for today's purpose, I'm going to tape this all up and tape this wire and get this routed, and then actually to the rear view mirror, and then I'll actually fix the rear view camera. So with this camera, to mount it, of course we're not actually screw it up here. I'm actually going to use some adhesion, tape some 3M. I had some adhesion bond that came with another part, so I'm going to go ahead and get some adhesion, the adhesion bond, and actually just clean this up a bit, get this mounted, get these taped up, get them connected and taped with some electrical tape, and then see if we can get it routed. I'll show you the routing, or the route I take. The biggest concern I have with this is, of course, putting the third brake light back in it. I could put a notch here potentially, and then bond it, or actually put maybe some type of glue or silicone glue. And if there's any leaks, I may have to go back and do that. But I think it'll bond, or it'll go back in and screw back in, and it shouldn't leak. We're gonna see, we're gonna try that process. I don't think the wire is so thick that it won't be able to seal. But again, it's just a test. I don't want to actually have to drill into this third brake light, but if I have to, I will, because these aren't that expensive, especially if you go aftermarket. They're on Amazon, I think, for 40 or 50 bucks. So it's just gonna be a trial. But first, let's go ahead and get this bonded, or get this actually mounted, and then get the wire started to get them ran. So it's actually primer or adhesion promoter. What we're gonna do is actually put this on top of the roof, and then we're actually gonna put the camera up here, get the third brake light back in, and then get the wire ran to the Wolf box and get all that taken care of, and then we'll actually work on the front bumper. So what we're gonna do first is actually run the wire inside the cab before we put the light back in. But I do have it mounted. I think I got it centered pretty well. If I got it a little bit off, well, I tried to use the antenna as a reference point. I put it back a little bit further than the edge. The wire, I'm not necessarily the happiest with. I don't think it'll be too noticeable. If you're gonna put it up here, there's not really a lot you can do about that, but again, it is on the roof of the truck. It's lower than the antenna, so you don't have to worry about it hitting anything. But I think you'll have a lot better view here than you would at the bumper. So let's go ahead and get the wiring ran in the cab, and then we'll go kind of see how that goes. I hope you can see. I hope it's not too dark. So far though, I've ran it. As you can see, I came in from right here. Here's the mirror, or the window. Came in there, ran it back on the back end here. I'll have to push some of this back up. I did pull it down just a little bit, enough to get the wire in. Came here, went across here, and I'm right there right now. So the next piece is trying to figure out, and I will figure this out, I do believe, is just pulling it down just a very little bit. And I have this tool, of course, to pry it down just enough to get that tuck there. And I'll run it across here, and then up there, and then back to the Wolf Box. So let's go ahead and finish that part up. Let's see if I can get this wire or get this tucked in here, and I do think I can. You just gotta be careful because there is airbags here, and there was airbags back here, so just be mindful of that whenever you're using this tool, not to push down too far. Or if you want to be really safe, you can disconnect the battery, which I haven't. I don't think you necessarily have to, just as long as you're really careful. So let's go ahead and finish this wiring up on this rear camera. And that the wiring disappears, and again, it just took this tool and a really slight push, and it went on in. So now we're up here, and let's keep on going. So full transparency on the rear wire, or running the wire on the passenger side, I had to pull it back out, and I'm running it now on the driver's side. And the reason being is the wire is super long. I know that a lot of people, of course, would run it underneath the vehicle, and you'd have a lot more room to put the wire, of course, or to hide it with extra wire, but I didn't, and I didn't want to have to run it down to the glove box and back up to the Wolf Box. So actually, I ran it coming back into the cab, which it was already in the cab. So I'm running it, I actually hooked it on up to the Wolf Box, and then I'm gonna run it back to the rear of the vehicle, and there's some place actually back there that I can actually hide it right behind the third brake light, the extra wire. So it will actually fit better on the driver's side headliner, and the reason being is I already am going to have the front bumper camera coming in from the passenger side and having to run up the channel of the passenger side. So that's one wire. The GPS wire is already on the passenger side as well. So there's just so many wires in this area. So I didn't want to have to do another wire, especially this wire being a little bit thicker for the rear camera. So after a few minutes, we got that rear camera installed. We got the third brake light back in. It seems like it's mounted okay. It should hold okay. We'll make sure it doesn't leak. I might put a dab of just some silicone right where the cord enters there, just to make sure and ensure it doesn't leak, or something that actually stops them leaking. We'll see. Right now though, I think it'll be fine. The foam that actually is supposed to help from leaking is actually surrounding that cord really well. So we'll just see how that goes. So now we're gonna do the front camera. Let me bring you around here and I'll show you kind of where my idea of putting it is. And I am gonna actually hard mount it because it's gonna go in this license plate frame. I'm just gonna put it on the bottom here. I think that'll give a good view for off-roading. That'll be plenty low enough. And also, I guess in parking situations or just various different situations, having a camera this low down will be nice. Running the camera through a grommet in the Firewall, and then into the actual cabin, and on the passenger side back up to the Wolf Box. And that's the way we're gonna go with it. So I found a much easier way to run the wire to the outside through the Firewall. It's actually through the driver's side. It's basically the same grommet that's on the driver's side through the Firewall, or the passenger side, I'm sorry. It's just much easier to get to on the driver's side. I'll try to show you. I don't know, it might be a little bit too dark. It's right above the dead pedal, and it is right there, but you can pull that back. You have so much easier access to that one. And I'll show you the other one on the passenger side. Yes, the one on the passenger side goes right to the fuse box and the battery. And I can see for stereo installs that being very helpful, but for this, for the camera, not so much. Okay, so you have to move this. Let me try to get the camera turned around. It's probably too dark to see over here. But there's a piece of plastic that's right in your way to get that grommet, and it's awful. So I'm gonna actually go through the driver's side and I'll route it that way. It's gonna be so much easier. So I've already got the wire hooked up to the Wolf Box for the front camera. I'm routing the wire down to the grommet. I'm gonna route it outside through the Firewall, and then we're gonna hook the camera up. Well, I'm getting it through. It's not easy. And the reason being is because it's cable. The cable it's got covering on it. It's got sheath, or this plastic sheath, and that's handy, I guess, for heat, but goodness, getting it through this is the Firewall is not easy at all. So let's get all the rest of this cable through the Firewall and then run it down where we need it. All right, so I got that one installed. It is hard mounted, and also I put the 3M tape there too that helped me mount it. I put it up with the 3M tape, then used a little screw they provided to hard mount it. I just used one screw. I think with the tape and also the 3M, it will be good to go. I can go ahead and pull this little sticker off. Well, maybe I can grab it. There we go. So I got that installed. So we'll see how it does. I'll show you it start up. I got to clean up the wiring mess down here and get that tucked away, get some things zip tied. But overall, it's installed. And I'll show you what it looks like here in just a second, all the 3 cameras. Also, always remember to tape up, or if you're doing this, make sure you tape up the front camera as well. Because again, there's going to be quite a bit of water, I'd imagine, up here. The cameras, from what I understand, they are waterproof, but these connections, they are not. So I'm going to use some electrical tape and just tape it really well. So guys, I did finish the install. It's really hard to see. It's kind of glary right now. And you have to remember, this does act like a mirror. They do make a cover or like a protector that is anti-glare. So as you can see, it does have all 3 screens. I have the front camera, which is right here. It's actually inside the cab. You can see I have the hood up right now. I have the front lower camera. And the cool thing about this is you can actually move these up and down. Let me see if I can, and I might have to get to the individual camera here in a second. I'll try that in a second. And then you have the back camera. So let's see, I can switch between the cameras actually and see them full view. So there's the front camera inside the cab. Let's see, you can move it up and down. Pan it, I guess as they call it. Hold on one second, see if I can. Okay, so now we're panning up. We can pan back down. Okay, so that's the front camera. Here is the bumper camera. So you can see, you can go really low to see what's in front of you. You can go a little higher, and you can adjust these too. I can adjust if I need to. So there's that. And here's the rear camera. So it's been a few days since I've got all 3 cameras installed for the Wolf Box. I just wanted to touch base about my thoughts on it. So far, it's worked really well. It's worked, flawlessly. I took it actually up on High Knob the other day when it snowed, and I'll actually have some footage in a separate video of that. Honestly, all 3 cameras produce really good video quality. The inside camera with the circular polarizer, in all honesty, I would probably skip on purchasing that because it does cut down on the inside footage. It almost looks like you're in a fishbowl. And I'll show you footage from that and let you make your own decision. I took it off today just to kind of get some test footage from it, just to see what it looks like. Colors are honestly about the same, and the polarizer is supposed to make it look more saturated. But honestly, for how much viewing that you lose from that, it's not really worth it. Now, WolfBox, if they're watching this, they may be able to address that. It might be something I'm doing wrong, and that's absolutely fine. If I can fix it, make it better, that's great. But I want to say that I'm not necessarily fully sponsored by WolfBox, so this is a fully honest review. I do have an affiliate link because I am affiliated with him. I have this link that you can use to purchase the WolfBox if you want to. I do recommend it if you're wanting something like a dash cam, because it does offer that. I mean, if you're looking for something to capture potential accidents with, or if you're creating content and you maybe just want to have an extra camera always present, or if you're going off-roading and you just want to be able to look at a lower bumper camera and just make sure you're getting over those rocks well enough, or whatever it may be. And for my use case scenario, if I'm able to get one for the Mustang, actually having it for the track will be nice, or loading the Mustang onto a trailer. So there's multiple uses for this. So would I recommend actually the purchase of this? Absolutely. I mean, it has multiple uses. I do feel like having something in your vehicle that's recording at all times can be very handy, especially just in case there ever is some type of accident, or if you're just wanting to be able to make sure you're hitting that parking spot just right, whatever it may be. But anyways, I do appreciate you all as always watching. I hope you all will continue to watch, and I do have some more another video coming up with the direct footage from the WolfBox camera itself to let you all make your own decision if you want to purchase this item. But until next time, thank you all and see ya. Bye.